Yo, what is good, my Quick Crypto family and my Coin Factory family? Welcome back once again to another daily Kaspa Crypto live stream. And we are looking at a little bit of a red candle for Kaspa today. We have got a very interesting update to go through in today's stream. As you can see from the title, the stream states that Kaspa is about to have a 2016 Ethereum level run. Those who don't know what I'm referring to, Ethereum at a particular moment in time went from roughly $25 billion market cap up to $125 billion, and it's all happened in a very, very short time frame. Kaspa right now has been struggling for quite some time, and the price is even down right now, but in saying that, we are actually currently witnessing an historic moment for Kaspa right now, where if you look right now on Kaspalytics, we are seeing unique count of 130,117,942 with a total number of 1.335 million KRC20 inscriptions. We are seeing a stress test going on with Kaspa right now. We're seeing it's come down significantly just now, but about 5 minutes ago, that TPS was at 2,000 consistently. We have seen a lot of backlash, a lot of repercussions as a result of this as well, which we'll get to in this stream. Not a result of Kaspa doing badly, but actually a result of the APIs, the Tangent wallets, the Kasplexes, them actually ones having problems. Not Kaspa, but the other platforms who cannot compete and hold up. We're seeing right now, look, the transactions are starting to explode again. Live time right now. So we'll get through all of this stuff and a lot more in this stream, providing some updates regarding what's happening with Kaspa and ultimately why, again, we may see that 2016 level run with Kaspa based off the fact that, again, this cycle is showing more and more signs that it's going to extend into 2026. That being said, family, if you enjoy the content, as always, be trying to do it every single day. Leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more, and turn on that post notification bell so you are fully aware every time that we are live. Welcome back once again everyone to the stream. Wing Hong, as always, bro, welcome back. We moon yet? Not yet, unfortunately, but again, patience is a virtue, and I'm sure the reversal is in. In fact, earlier today, if you haven't been paying attention, Bitcoin made a new all-time high. Bitcoin actually surpassed this peak here back in August and made a new all-time high, surpassing $125,000. It has come back since then, but remember what I said a few days ago, what I told my VIPs is my scenario that I'm looking out for is for Bitcoin to finish the week, so finish today therefore, above 122k ideally. If it does, I believe the bottom is in and the leg up is inevitable, and Bitcoin therefore should gradually but inevitably catch back up to that M2 money supply, which does have Bitcoin meant to be valued at around 150k, give or take, right now. So would be a considerable rally if this would come to fruition, and we'll go into some more points to support this possibility in a short moment as well. Welcome back, Dimitar, bro. Doing very, very well. We need pump urgent. Yes, but at the same time, we do still have time. Yes, the time is running out. I don't discredit that, but we do still have time, especially again, if and seemingly likely when the cycle does extend past 25, into 2026. Welcome back, Brett, bro. You're doing very, very well. And you too, Antonio, ahoy to you too, my man. Octo Plus, Max FUD all over Kaspa, super bullish, as you should be, we are going down. Yeah, well, don't worry, because I'm still going to be here regardless of the day, the time, the price. LB here from Sort of Hopium. Welcome back on the check-in, bro. You're doing very, very well. Gabe, welcome back. You're doing very well, brother. And Truth Forever, welcome back as well, man. Great to see you here. Kaspa, indeed. Crypto Mindset said not to hold Kaspa now. I think his stream is now saying. I have not watched his stream, full disclosure. And there will be a lot of people saying not to hold Kaspa right now. And I mean, if it comes purely down to price, then yes, it depends. If you're here to simply make money in the immediate short term, then Kaspa, while for a lot of us, and for me in particular, I see it as the strongest asset in the space that's going to make a lot of gains, even in this cycle, due to so much external pressure. The Kaspa's almost become a little bit of a red herring. The point being is, no one truly understands how this cycle is going to react. We are seeing increasing speculation and sources and signs suggesting it will do this, that we'll see an extension into 2026 and these sort of catalysts and whatnot. But again, do you think about the general market structure right now? Bitcoin's made all-time highs, fantastic. ETH sitting at 4.5k, equally very good. XRP is still hovering around $3 fine. Every other altcoin is still sitting at where they are. Altcoins just aren't moving right now. And they probably won't move until we get ETF filings coming out, until we see more institutional investments coming into the altcoins. And when we get the Clarity Act coming out as well, those will be the big catalysts that will all be coming through in this fourth quarter. But until then, altcoins will probably continue to lag behind or follow slowly behind Bitcoin and Ethereum, and you'll see the FUD grow more and more and more. But at the same time, the altcoin cycle is still happening. I mean, you look at Bitcoin dominance right now, it's still extremely high, 59.25%. That's very high. Bitcoin, if you think back to the last cycle, you saw this massive fall off in Bitcoin dominance here. Massive fall off right here. Solana, when it went through its parabolic run in the last cycle, Solana didn't run until August. So actually, you saw Bitcoin dominance come all the way down. Solana started running here. So it came all the way down, it came down in May, June, July, August. 3 months, Bitcoin dominance was around 40%. And then Solana started running after 3 months down. So again, if history repeats itself in that regard, Bitcoin dominance should inevitably come down to the 40s, or maybe 50s. Again, it depends, because right now a lot of governments are adopting Bitcoin for treasury strategies and more the ETF filings and whatnot. But Bitcoin dominance will fall down, be down for a few months, and then once it's been exhausted, the capital then start rotating into the altcoin. And we've got to remember the Bitcoin maximalists who are starting to look more and more into Kaspa as opposed to any other asset. That in itself is a good reason why I'm still holding this asset. And I do think with the increasing possibility now that cycle is going to extend into 26, that Kaspa is probably in the strongest spot now. With it being so low, the ROI for me is looking stronger. But that's just me personally. It's not financial advice. You do your own research. If you need to get out, you need to get out. There are multiple other assets that are doing well and probably do very, very well in the next couple of weeks, a couple of months. I'm talking about it with my VIPs right now. We're looking at real world assets. I've mentioned on this channel already Tabek. Tabek's one I think will do very, very well. I got in full disclosure around 0.0038 around here. And I've been holding ever since. Didn't sell yet. Currently I'm up in that. And I think that's going to run up a lot more from here as well. Do I trust Tabek? The same way I trust a bank. I don't trust banks either. I'm giving all my capital to a centralized entity that can take it whenever they want to. But that's how the world generally works. Hopefully that will change with Kaspa, with Bitcoin, with crypto. But a lot of cryptos right now are centralized still. Either way, Tabek, I know the partnerships they have. I know what they're trying to build. The payroll element, the payroll space, I think is a very, very big top marketable target. Hence why I'm holding this asset. And there's some other broad assets as well that I think I'm going to do very, very well. So while I also have my biggest bag in Kaspa, I do diversify. And that's what I'm talking about my VIPs right now. So equally, we can try and carry on making some gains in other assets and then putting the profits into whatever we choose it to be. And again, we do trade and stuff in there. And equally, meme coin picks as well. There's currently a pick that we've got into, which I will also disclose because it'll probably be too late for entry now, truth be told. This one here. Yes, so we got into Aura in my community a little while back. And that's been doing pretty well since we got into that. We got into it a few days back now, I think. And we're already sitting up on it quite nicely. We've gotten down here. So already up like 50, 60, 70% from this right now. And this one I think still rally a little bit more from here. So again, if you want to find out more, again, come check out the VIP. You can join for free for 7 days or equally for a month through BYDFI. We have a no KYC, no VPN regulated exchange that we are affiliated with. They have a Kaspa trading campaign going on right now, but I think that's quickly coming to an end. So time's running out on that. But again, all information about that to get access to this as well, available in my free server. So at the very least, come check this server out here, chill chat and learn more, no strings attached. And if you want to lock in even more, so then there, the VIP is readily available for all of you. Jax is swapping Kaspa off Tangent here. Yes, so as I'm going to get into in a very brief moment, the process of swapping Kaspa on Tangent, on Casplex, frankly, any crypto wallet, exchange, whatever, right now is very, very finicky. because of the stress testing going on with Kaspa right now. Kaspa is not a problem. It's the APIs that are struggling. Which API, so to understand what API stands for, API stands for Application Programming Interface. So I'll get to it full circle in a second, but to give a brief rundown now, we are seeing Kaspa right now doing some insane transactions, back up to 2,000 again. Really, really impressive stuff. Kaspa is proving to, be a protocol that can handle this sort of TPS, and it's doing this comfortably. Otherwise, Kaspa is doing this comfortably. The issue is you've got elements like Tangent, elements like Casplex, where Casplex APIs are struggling to keep up with the speed of Kaspa, the processing of Kaspa. APIs are like crypto wallets, exchanges, and other decentralized applications. They are struggling to communicate with Casplex, with Tangent, with Kaspa, because it's being stress tested so hard right now. But we'll get back to that again full circle in a moment. So it doesn't mean that it shouldn't mean anything. It pretty much just means right now things are temporary and they're lagging, and it's a little bit finicky. But it shouldn't be any massive cause for concern. It's just again a test with the Kaspa being so strong and so good that things can't keep up with Kaspa. We're going down because people are selling, correct? Why do they sell? Do not believe in the project. Well, it comes down to a number of factors, Dimitar. They're selling because they don't believe in the project, probably. A lot of people right now are getting very tired of holding altcoins in general. Altcoins for the most part are just struggling. Kaspa has been one of the leading, at least in our bubble community, Kaspa is the leading altcoin that people are getting tired of because it's not moving. So, yeah, again, Bitcoin up 4 times, Kaspa down 3 times. It's the same argument, though. It's not. Look at Sui, look at Tau, look at Turbo. Like it's look at HBAR. Yes, Kaspa's down a lot more than everything else right now, but again, we are not in an altcoin cycle. We cannot expect these altcoins to always rally when Bitcoin's rallying, when we're not in a cycle catered to these assets just yet. And I say yeah, because it's still got to happen. It's just not happening right now. If conviction's lacking, again, you've got to do what you've got to do. But my conviction hasn't wavered. But if my conviction started wavering in Kaspa, I'd let you all know. It hasn't wavered in the slightest. There's no reason for me to be panicking Kaspa. The price being down it's been such a long occurring thing. But it's also, you're seeing it's still acting in accordance to how an asset should act. It's holding these levels of resistance. We saw it bottom down at 5 cents back in March, back in April. Then we saw a bottom down here at 6 cents back in June. We are still, toying in the low price of right now at 7.35 cents. But we are still, for the most part, in a gradual uptrend for the looks of things. And with the cycle in Q4 looking bullish now, we should hopefully start seeing the assets make their comeback when the market perceives it to be right, which again, is not. It's not right now. We'll get into that full circle in a second though. Kaspa new low versus Bitcoin. Yeah. It's coming through. It's coming through. Kaspa making a new low versus Bitcoin. You can see that as well. But again, you've got to keep in mind that we are in a Bitcoin dominated cycle. Bitcoin dominance at 59%. If Bitcoin dominance goes down to the 40s and the altcoins start to rally, and Bitcoin maxis start cycling more into Kaspa as they're starting to do anyways, most of them who are doing their research, that dominance won't stay that way forever. You'll see big listings coming through, which again, we got posts regarding that as well on this stream. So, keep telling your Kaspa will go into an epic 3-month run while sucking liquidity. I mean, it's also possible. I'm completely optimistic about that still. Bizzle, welcome back. Kaspa is obviously being held down, which means it's going to pump a matter of when. Yes, that is also what I believe. Let's see if I have got this saved in my community. If not, then that will suck. Kathy Wood. Do I have the video saved? I do. Wow. This is the benefit I have in my Discord community. I can find my sources very easily. This is a video where she's talking about Tesla here. But in this video, I'll play it right now. The very ending she says in regarding to investing as a whole is the longer the base, the bigger the breakout. Again, that's provided they don't fail. Now, we have seen how strong the Kaspa community is. Looking at the inactive supply right now, you can see 3-month supply and active supply still nearing all-time highs. 6 months, all-time highs. 1 year, all-time high. 2 year, all-time highs. So people are holding Kaspa for the long term. People are evidently testing and running stress tests of Kaspa as well right now. Kaspa's proving itself to be capable of doing what we want it to do. The problem right now is the price, and people are getting exhausted by that, but the project as itself still has a lot of conviction and belief in it. So when we listen to this video here, provided it doesn't fail, which I don't see Kaspa failing at all, that means the longer the base, which is the case, the base for Kaspa has been over a year now. You could argue 2 years, you want to really take it in from back in 2023. The longer the base here, the bigger the breakout will be when the time is right. So listen very closely here to Kathy Woods.
Investor, but I, as a trader also, understand that when you build a base like that, one of two things is going to happen. It's either going to break down, and that's what a lot of the bears have been betting on, and they've been throwing everything at it, or it's going to break out. Clearly, we believe is going to break out. And the longer the base, you say 5 years, the longer the base, the bigger the breakout. So
right now, the same exact scenario can be attributed to Kaspa. The bears, and that's been driven by KOLs and market makers, whatever it may be, the bears are betting heavily that Kaspa's going to fail now. Not because the technology is bad, because the price is not there and we haven't got listing and adoption. They're betting the backup's going to fail. Kaspa, in my belief, won't. Once it does, breakout could have such a long base. This breakout is going to be the most explosive that we probably witnessed in crypto. I do wholeheartedly believe that. I'm not going to give my predictions. That's up for you to determine. But we have got all to play for still. We are in the 10th. We are on the 5th of October 2025. Q4's just started. And we have so much more to play for still for this cycle. This cycle is showing more and more signs that it's going to probably extend beyond 3 months. Again, we'll still play it by ear. No definitive proof, but you can look at certain elements like the fact that M2 money supply is still rallying at all-time highs. So there's still more liquidity being injected into the economy. This will start cycling into risk on, into Bitcoin, into the altcoins when the institutions have access to liquidity. But anyways, let's get into some of the posts now before we get full circle again and get into the rest of the comments. So to start off with, we'll get into the Kaspa and then we'll get into the fundamentals. So we can start here with crypto bull. Kaspa is truly at an inflection point. This I do wholeheartedly agree with. It has all the fundamentals you could ask for. With a recent upgrade of 10 BPS and smart contract, yet its position on CoinMarketCap continues to slip below number 50. We really need to see a strong move relatively soon to stay in the race. Now, I do, to an extent, agree with this. Yes, I do. I think Kaspa is fundamentally sound, very, very strong, the strongest in the space. It's started to slip more and more and more due to lack of VCs keeping the price up, a lack of listings and whatnot, and we probably do need to see something along those lines to see a move happening soon enough. But in that regard, as Ski trading highlights here, which again I do think the possibility, it's just again speculation, but we know Binance have been talking to Kaspa for almost 2 years now. They started talking to Kaspa in December 2023. We're in November 2025, almost 2 years now. Been 22 months of Binance in contact with Kaspa. And he's just saying here, I bet number wallet 2 is actually Binance. If you look right here, go to top addresses right now, wallet 2 currently has 950 billion Kaspa, give or take. Just short of that. Almost an Aquaman. Almost the biggest Kaspa wallet, holding 3.5% of the supply right now. Is it Binance? Is it Wintermute? We don't know. But according to Ski here, some will say it's Hopium, but Kaspa fundamentals are just too good for big exchange, for big market makers to not look at Kaspa. It's a massive opportunity and Binance knows it. When the price is good again, fundamentals will be good again. Futures on Binance are a big clue. You can see here, price Kaspa here, followed by this, the futures as well. Just trying to show some evidence to link up. The moment that Binance futures came out, more or less the time when Kaspa started to go through a bit of a bigger correction. It's also very possible. Point being is, I do think that these sort of listings, sort of developments are still to come for Kaspa. When, it's again the magic question, but it's a case of knowing that Binance again have been talking to Kaspa for 2 years, and they are seeing what we are seeing right now. They are seeing the TPS, the proof that Kaspa is handling comfortably almost 2,200 TPS in real time, consistently. Doing this comfortably right now. Right now, Kaspa trying to break another world record. We'll see what it looks like tomorrow. Because right now, of course, it's showcasing what happened yesterday. Tomorrow, we'll see what the max transaction count was. Last time the record was 61 million in a span of a day. We'll see what happens this time around. As what we're seeing, the sort of transaction right now is absolutely insane. You can see what's happening. Not much to Casplex, not much to KRC, but a lot happening here. Looks like many of it coming through regular. I'm assuming that's probably referring to Cassia more so than anything else. But this is still extremely impressive to see what's happening right now on Kaspa. And again, Spectre Crypto Odie, he is one that's trying to attempt this world record. It's currently ongoing right now, trying to stress test Kaspa once again to try and beat the record of 60 million. And we can see Kaspa's currently processing more than 2,000 TPS. So Michael Sutton himself also made a post about this. Kaspa making history once again, one day at a time. Kaspa mainnet is being casually stable above 2,100 transactions per second on a network with 100 millisecond block frequency. This is, again, really important. Being done on a proof of work. Bitcoin's not doing this. Bitcoin's not doing this at all. And most other proof of stakes can't handle this either. Now, there is some repercussions of this. We have been hearing throughout the community, particularly through Tangent Swap. Also, I've heard through Casplex's API, they have gone down. They have gone down. So there have been cases where if you be trying to swap, using the cat bridge or whatever from the layer 1 to the layer 2, you're waiting hours as opposed to just a minute or so. So you're waiting. That's what it means when they've gone down. You're waiting an extended period of time. Very long time. That does not mean therefore that Kaspa's the issue. It's not Kaspa. Kaspa's doing this perfectly from the mainnet. The issue are the APIs. APIs again standing for application programming interface. So what we're basically seeing in the situation with Casplex, with Tangent as well, is the crypto wallets like Tangent, the exchanges and other dApps, Casplex, the DEXs, whatnot, they are struggling to communicate with Kaspa due to the stress tests happening right now. That's what's ultimately happening right now. So it's an indication that the APIs aren't properly up to scratch, which honestly, without there being mass adoption yet of Kaspa, that's quite a good thing. If we can now get this issue identified early, so when we do get more adoption in, this hopefully won't be an issue later on. It basically just means that everything's slowing down right now. And if you don't add a priority fee, you'll end up at the end of the queue until the stress is done. So the stress is happening right now. So if you put a priority fee on it, you'll get your Kaspa, your assets quickly. If you don't put a priority fee on it, you'll be at the back of the stress test. And that'll, there's so much taking place right now in regards to that. You can see how many transactions are happening right now. You're at the back of this queue. You're waiting a very, very long time. Very, very long time. But again, I think it's a good thing happening now as opposed to when the mass adoption does happen, because it lets us see what issues there are and how we can improve it before it becomes a, hopefully globally adopted asset. But again, this is not an issue with Kaspa. Of course, I'm sure a lot of people will believe it is, and I understand why they would, but it's not an issue with Kaspa. It's an issue with the APIs, with the applications that are not able to process Kaspa because they aren't updated enough effectively. So we'll hopefully get that fixed, and we'll probably see everything back and running once the stress test is fully done. But it's a very interesting stuff, and what really matters is what this enables: real enterprise adoption, fast, secure, scalable. Now imagine that applied across every market still stuck on outdated rails. Fast, secure, scalable, and stable means enterprises can finally move data, assets, and value across global networks in real time without trade-offs in cost, trust, or throughput, and it's still being decentralized as well. Kaspa is trying to change the world, and again, that's why I hold this asset. It's a very, very impressive feat what's being done right now. And again, we've seen these sort of applications coming out, showcasing the block time of other projects, which right now Aptos is showcasing their block time being apparently the best in the space. Of course, not showcasing Kaspa right now, which Kaspa would blow all of them out of the water, no shadow of a doubt. Now, I have got one post here from Ori, which is giving some clarifications regarding the max TPS to date, which says 5,584, where he's given a bit of a breakdown of this, which he's basically trying to say that it's misleading, right? All he's trying to say that this actual peak is a bit misleading. It's not actually the case right now. The actual real because Kaspa does not use it. Basically, the maths used behind it is incorrect, because Kaspa does not use a simple block size limit like Bitcoin's does. It uses a block mass limit. So therefore, the mathematics that was used to calculate this is not correct from what I'm gathering from this. From what I've read through this, we can see eventually he makes a conclusion here, basically to summarize the whole post. I'm not going to read through the whole thing because I don't know the maths. But to summarize here, he's basically just saying that the average TPS can be as high as 2.4 to 3.4, depending on the scope of the use of layer 2. So right now, Kaspa, this max TPS is a bit misleading due to maybe incorrect use of maths and equations. But Kaspa is able to achieve high TPS, and again, it's still very, very early, and we could probably do a lot higher, and we're seeing that happening right now. Looking at the TPS right now, we're achieving just short of what that. And he says here, PS, due to the block tax parallelism, some transactions are expected to be duplicated, where the number of duplicate transactions are expected to go down as long as the mempool backlog is bigger. So again, Kaspa, you might see some duplications happening as well. Again, just it's the nature of the architecture. We need to put the right mathematical equations when calculating this sort of stuff. But again, stuff like that will come. Now, in regard to the title, Kaspa is about to have a 2016 level Ethereum run. We can see here, not a perfect comparison, but ETH 2016, 2017, we can see here, had this little run up. We saw it here, where it's consolidating between February up to end of about December time. So not as long as Kaspa's is, but again, we just heard from Kathy Woods, longer the base, bigger the breakout. Ethereum here had a very, very long consolidation phase before then breaking above this key resistance and then exploding in value like it did, which we can look at here on we can look at it here on TradingView, going back 2015, 2016. Zoom in real quick. We can see here, we're looking at this rough area here, and then we saw what happened here, where it went from $10 all the way up in that first run to 400. We saw a significant rally for Ethereum the first time. I'm not therefore saying Kaspa could do the exact same thing, but we can attribute Kaspa to being, what Ethereum is meant to be for Bitcoin. Kaspa is that to Bitcoin. Therefore, it should overtake what Ethereum is. And because Ethereum was not able to do it because it couldn't find a way to be scalable and decentralized, which Kaspa has found the way with block DAG architecture. Kaspa done it for a lot longer, which argues then the breakout could be bigger, although there are other elements taken into account. But you see Kaspa again consolidating for a very, very long time at this level. And if you look at the chart here, it's suggesting therefore that Kaspa has made that rebound like Ethereum did off that support here, and now it's making that gradual move up. So if Kaspa can manage to break above that 12 cents, which we saw Kaspa get rejected here last time, 12, 13 cents, we could break above that, that could end up seeing a replication of Ethereum back in its early days, and therefore Kaspa would rip in value over the span of a year, if a few months. The potential is really insane. Really, really insane for Kaspa. And I think, again, we're seeing a lot of reassuring posts and information coming through as well that supports the belief we can see Kaspa do that, based on, again, more so fundamental news. Like rate cuts, for example. Right now, we saw the first rate cut it was December 2024 was the last rate cut, and then we had one just gone in September. So that's 10 months or so, almost 10 months or so without any rate cuts. We've got the first rate cut in a very, very long time. And now we're seeing more and more rate cuts coming through. I think if you look at CME, there's a 96% chance of us getting rate cuts at the end of this month. And we're cutting rates into stagflation. Latest ISM service report showed prices paid rushing towards 70 and employment remaining below 50. As a result, we are now seeing a bigger gap between prices paid and employment since the 2020 pandemic. Asset owners know this. So ultimately, this therefore indicates that with rate cuts coming through, with more liquidity pumping into the market, they can then start injecting into the market, incentivizing more investments happening throughout now. So because there's so much stagflation happening right now, the only way to combat that is to inject liquidity. They need to have more rate cuts, more QE, quantitative easing, more money printing to lessen this widening divergence between the prices paid compared to the employment. They need to get that to go up more. So that's going to be something very, very interesting. Of course, there is a risk to it running to inflation, but we're at stagflation right now at this point. And inflation, I think, is sitting around 2.9% according to PCE. So fair between a rock and a hard place, but they're going to have to continue cutting rates, in my belief. And in regards to why the markets are pumping right now and Bitcoin making a new all-time high, we have just gone through, or we're currently going through a government shutdown, which originally government shutdowns tend to last for about 8 days, historically speaking, but we're now seeing reports from the likes of KYC, which are now predicting we'll see this government shutdown extend and last up to 3 weeks, which would be the second largest government shutdown, second longest government shutdown in US history. The first one being also held by Trump back in 2018 when it went on for 35 days. Nearly 700,000 federal employees are working without pay. And from what we have heard from other sources, if the shutdown managed to stay in effect for 61 days, for over 2 months, then these federal employees who are furloughed right now, working without pay, they are then just let go and made redundant, which would free up a lot more on the federal balance. I mean, it'd be very heartbreaking and unfortunate to the employees in question, of course, and I don't want that for them. And not to sound like a monster in that regard then, but on the other side of the coin, if they were to be furloughed, it would be relieve a lot more liquidity. It put the Fed balance sheet into a surplus again, and therefore incentivize more investments into the market in general. So the thing to take away from this is that the shutdown, arguably the longer it goes, the better it is. Bitcoin is always markets, S&P 500, crypto always tend to act very positively off the back of the lockdown. If you look at what happened last time, back in 2018, look at Bitcoin. Back in 2018, you saw government shutdown happened here, December 2018. And then 1 year later, Bitcoin was here. It did come back a little, but Bitcoin was here. So you saw almost a 3x in Bitcoin. It did rally up a lot higher as well. Stock market went up about 11%. S&P 500 went up 11% in that time frame. If we go all the way back as well. Yeah, 2018. Shutdown happened December time, so around here. And up 11%. It's about December time again, so around here. Okay, take it from the wrong area, probably from here. Yeah. So again, Fed tend to always be more dovish after a shutdown, and the stock market and Bitcoin soared up a lot more 1 year after the shutdown. So now we've got a shutdown happening right now. In theory, historically, again, it's not guaranteed. There is cases where it's 86% chance after the shutdown that the market should end higher than it started. Bitcoin started here at 113k. So historically speaking, there's an 86% chance, therefore, that Bitcoin will end above 113k in a year's time from now, which puts us 130k around here. Year time being around here. Nope, sorry, around here. So we're anticipating, therefore, that around October here, Bitcoin will be above this area here, which, if that is the truth, then that means we've got a year of pumping effectively. Now, how high it'll be from here, we don't know, but historically speaking, it's up more so. We saw what happened last time. So that was, again, something to take into account. Bitcoin currently is up about 10% since the government shutdown happened. So if it goes any higher over the coming days, the longer the government shutdown, the higher Bitcoin should go with more capital investors coming through as well. We've got some more posts to get into in a short moment regarding the shutdown. I've already mentioned this, but the fact of the matter being that the ETFs currently right now are not going to be filed on, which does mean you're going to see a bigger delay of altcoin cycle, which is more time to accumulate load, more FUD coming through, but they will come through, provided the SEC are not going to approve any of it because they haven't got the staffing to approve it because they're being furloughed right now. But the ETF filings should come through hopefully soon enough. Once the government shutdown has ended, we're seeing a lot more ETF filings, over 30 more coming through for many assets from AVE, ADA, Atom, AVAX, Bitcoin Cash, Kronos, Polkadot, ENA, HBAR, Hyperliquid, Injective, and so on and so forth. Say, Sui, you're seeing Tau there as well, Uniswap. And also as a final matter as well, the US market is on fire. The market cap of US stocks relative to the US market money supply has hit 305%, the highest since 2000, the dot-com bubble. Over the last 3 years, the percentage has grown to a whopping 125 plus points. This has now officially surpassed the pre-2008 financial crisis peak of 290%. Well, dot-com is a little bit bigger, but still not far off. So to reach a level, the US stock market would need to grow another 21%, assuming the constant M2 supply. So summary of this, we're currently about to witness a historic run. If the market does extend into 2026, we're going to witness an historic run never seen before with stocks, and the crypto, of course, would be as, if not, well, much more parabolic in all honesty. And when the liquidity comes to the altcoins, there's no doubt Kaspa will be one of those runners. With so much more to come through, so many more asset managers starting to build on blockchain, we are about to witness this great wealth transfer we've been talking about for quite some time right now. And again, Kaspa is showcasing its superiority right now, just stress testing it right now. But this is what you're going to see as a bare minimum when the adoption comes through, with the KRI launching their products this quarter, with more applications coming to Kaspa, stablecoins and whatnot as well, more DApp being built, more exchanges coming to Kaspa. You're going to witness a historic one with Kaspa as well, I believe. Credit mindset is full of it. He just wants to sell. You break out your trades, calls it through subscriptions. I mean, maybe it does. I'm not too sure. But if that is the case, then just be very careful out there. Tier 1s are going to list it together. I mean, if that's also the belief you have right now, it would make sense, and it would be a very, very explosive FOMO run if that happened. If nobody was listing it until they all listed it at once, so you see Binance, Coinbase, OKX, Crypto.com, HTX all listing at the same time, Kaspa very well could jump. Well, if it's currently sitting at around 7.5 cents, Kaspa very well could jump 10x. It sounds extortionate to say that, but if you're thinking about the fact you're going to get, if there's a possibility that you see Binance, Coinbase, HTX, OKX, and Crypto.com, Gemini, whatever it may be, you see all the exchanges at the very same time, these shock, it's going to be a supply shock. It's going to be a massive surge in demand while supply has been dwindling. So you'll see Kaspa definitely shoot up. I wouldn't say 10x is that extortionate, in all honesty. You saw what happened way back when. And FOMO was a big thing for Kaspa. But right now, the listings are the biggest FOMO for Kaspa. People are fading Kaspa right now because they originally cared about the technology and how quickly it was growing, and the listing they were getting. And we haven't had any. And the only significant listing we got recently was Kraken, which is still a great listing, but people were hoping and expecting a Binance listing. People have been expecting that for a very, very long time, so they've got burnt out. Once that listing comes through, that in and of itself would be quite a big thing. And I think you get Coinbase coming along as well. The rest of them, you would see a massive FOMO candle. And then that will continue momentum from there on as well, with more and more of the... If you saw those listings, those who have faded Kaspa will come back in. No doubt. Those who faded Kaspa, who sold some of their bag because they say it's not worth it anymore, they saw the listings come through, they come back. Because the people who sold Kaspa, they sold it because they want to make gains. They're also in Kaspa to make money, as opposed to seeing it as a world-changing asset. Which I'm in for both. I'm staying with it because it's a game-changing, world-changing asset, but also the potential of making money in it is high. The ROI for me is very, very high. Big money will invest in Kaspa due to its fair launch. They don't have to lose to other big money VCs, pretty much. Welcome back, Mr. Miles. You're doing very, very well, brother. I was busy buying this dip. As you should be, Mr. Miles. As you should be. I picture the fools who sell their Kaspa, like Mr. T would say. Yeah, 100%. We'll see where it goes from here, though. Let's see where it goes from here. What other coin has a similar amount of community engagement right now as Kaspa? There is none. Only one I could argue is Bitcoin. But even then, I think Kaspa's more than Bitcoin now. I think Kaspa has the most community engagement. It's just Bitcoin's the biggest one, so Bitcoin gets... If you search up like most popular cryptos that get typed in on Twitter, it'd be Bitcoin. All conversations have Bitcoin. Government talk about Bitcoin. FIs talk about Bitcoin. And then new people talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the biggest asset. But then after Bitcoin, it'll be Ethereum. After Ethereum, it's probably Dogecoin. And then it's Kaspa. And Doge is only mentioned in correlation with the fact that you've got Doge, Department of Government Efficiency. But Kaspa is the biggest one and organic as well. And it's been proven in all the round robin tables we've done, the Moon Madnesses, that Kaspa have won back to back now. Is programmed to go up with the inflation getting lower each month of bulls? They have power over the bears. I mean, yeah, right now the bulls are trying to take reign, trying to take power, and they're spreading their FUD about, and it's working for a lot of people. But again, the way the cycle runs is based off the monetary cycle, not 4-year full cycle. It's the monetary cycle, the macro cycle, which right now is extended. So we'll see the cycle continue to turn around and rally when the time is right, and you'll see Kaspa rally with that as well. Yeah, definitely too many moments, but at the same time, maybe not enough moments as well. You're saying too many right now, but I guarantee the moment Kaspa starts running, you're like, oh, there was not enough time to buy the dip. It's a reoccurring thing. Well, I mean, kudos to you, Dimitar, still mining despite the lackluster incentive to mine right now. You're a trooper, brother. And once overnight rates get close to 3%, the big money pulls out billions and puts it into the market with the 1 to 2 rate cuts away from this. I mean, we are going to see a hell of a lot more capital coming to crypto. There's no doubt about it. ETF filings, rate cuts coming through, Swift getting integrated, Clarity Act getting pushed forward. So many catalysts to come through still. Is Binance a market maker who's ready to sell to exchanges? Oh yeah, Wallet 2 surely has to be either Binance or a market maker who's ready to sell off their Kaspa to exchanges. It makes the most sense to us. Of course, we have no confirmation, but logically speaking, it makes the most sense. They've accumulated so much and they're an unknown wallet. You know? I think Solana did 10 million transactions before breaking down. I mean, wouldn't surprise me. They might even have done less than that. Solana, of course, is given its kudos because it's one of the most scalable and used protocols in this space. But it's not secure, and even then it still goes down quite a lot. Kaspa, despite everything, is yet to go down yet. It has congestion issues, but that's not normally attributed to Kaspa being a problem. It's more to the APIs, which just means the API could be better, not Kaspa. I'm sure that'll be a thing in the future, you know. I'm sure it'll be a thing in the future, although by the time that this becomes an actual working conversation, Jerome Powell probably won't be the chair of the Fed anymore. When will Kaspa list on Binance? Great question. Who knows, Kreppen? Who knows? We hope we will see it in the next few months, but we have no indication as such. Kaspa's currently down 40%. It's holding around the support of 77.4 cents right now. Kaspa is going to probably continue trading in this zone for the next, maybe a week or two, and then you'll see Bitcoin make this run, as will probably start following suit lackluster so, and we'll see where it goes from there. But Binance listing, we don't know. We just hope it'll be soon. It's been talking for Kaspa for over 2 years, or almost 2 years now. So, and when you think about other protocols, other exchanges like Kraken, like Mexi, KuCoin, Bybit, BitGet, all the exchanges that have already got Kaspa integrated with 10 BPS, it's evidently that's not 10 BPS the issue. It's more so the fact that there's something else they're looking into for Kaspa, which is why they're taking their time listing it. We must have enough Kaspa by now, we believe. Powell just needs to get rates down. That's what held all the alts down. There's no risk needed for big money if they can yield a lot, letting it sink to the banks or bonds. Yeah, I mean, the rates are coming down now. We'll see more rate cuts coming through. We have projected 2 more rate cuts this year in October and December. And we'll see if we get any more. The government shutdown might incentivize a more aggressive stance from the Fed, a more relaxed QE stance from the Fed, more dovish stance, purely because jobs are still going down more and more, especially if the unemployment comes through. Like if we do end up getting all those jobs furloughed somehow, yeah, they're going to have to do something quite excessive. I have a strong feeling the hidden purpose of these stress tests is our proof of concept to stablecoin issuers. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, right now I think Crypto Odie is the one who's currently running this test, if you will. He's one who's he's done it once before, he's doing it again. But it wouldn't surprise me if the incentive for this is again to showcase to the stablecoin issuers and to the other, smart money and whatnot that Kaspa is able to handle this sort of speed consistently. And while you're seeing some issues, it's not Kaspa's issues, it's APIs. It just therefore means that to the stablecoin issuer and to the market makers who want to utilize Kaspa, the dApps and the exchanges and whatnot who want to use Kaspa, they're like, okay, we've got to make sure our API can keep up with Kaspa, as opposed to Kaspa's not going to be able to keep up with us. Want the rates to go down, a lot of money will flow into the market, 100%. Going to be a great, great time for us all. I'm loving this dip. Actually, you should do Dung Night. Actually, you should do. You retire in 5 years or you live with a lifetime of regret, then they will want your Kaspa. You choose Kaspa's once in a lifetime opportunity. I completely agree. Completely agree. We'll look $2.4 million worth and we start selling. Yeah. I mean, again, people are just tired right now, which I get it, but at the same time, nothing's really moving just yet besides Bitcoin. That will change, but nothing moving right now. Welcome back, Double D, bro. You're doing very, very well, my man. When power's out in a few months, whether Trump takes points, we'll make it 0%. I mean, yeah, very possible. There could be a double-edged sword, considering that it could definitely cause a lot of inflation, but we'll see what happens. Jerome Powell's already got 8 months left of his term. Not got long left. Escape Squad said the same thing about being compared to Ethereum and Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people right now are comparing Kaspa to Bitcoin and Ethereum right now because the market structure of Kaspa is looking very, very similar. And again, you look at other projects in the space, there aren't many projects that can actually attribute to having this sort of, you know, almost 40,000% up from launch. Of course, it's been down a lot since then. You know, I'm not going to sugarcoat that, but most projects are significantly down from their launch. Kaspa's the only one that is doing so well from its launch. It's going down the rankings, and the fund's going to keep growing louder and louder. But you know, Kaspa's still here. It's still keeping market structure. If it lost, you know, certain levels of resistance, then you might be cause for concern. But right now, it's still holding them. It's just not showcasing a lot of momentum right now, and it's frustrating people. And again, that's the reason why it's frustrating, because people who in Kaspa right now, most people who bought into Kaspa right now, who are feeling the burn, if you will, they bought in probably around here. This period of time here, where they were near the tops, expecting to go up to $10, because that's what they bought into the Moonboy sentiment. Now Kaspa's come back down. It's trading around the level it was 2 years ago, a little higher than that. And people are like, oh, the project's going off, falling off a cliff slowly. I don't see that happening. Again, I also believe it's what Kathy was said here. Projects either break down or they break up. I think Kaspa's going to break up based on sentiment, based on what's coming out, fundamentals being built, KRI who are building on Kaspa. Longer the base, the bigger the breakout. I think that's what's happening with Kaspa right now. It's had a long base, the breakout will be an explosive one. But yeah, QE is going to be very, very big. I think that's a big pivot coming. We'll see what the Fed say. Right now, of course, it is not much happening. If you look at Forex Factory, most of the government data is impacted now due to the shutdown. So we just don't get a lot of information right now. You will see some coming out, but majority of it, you see some Fed members speaking. That could be quite important. Quite important to see what their stance is right now on this whole shutdown situation. But a lot of the stuff is like just not coming out. You know, we're not seeing job reports. We're not seeing any form of inflation data. So FOMC minutes will be a very big one. They'll probably speak regarding the shutdown happening, and they might even give a good indication of their stance going forward. So, I mean, it's going to be a big group regardless. I'm not particularly worried right now, though. With the unemployment number get worse now, I would argue getting worse is not good. I think the numbers are already bad enough as it is. I think now we want to start seeing them get better. If it gets any worse, then, you know, I think it could be a bigger shock than people. If it gets any worse, people will start worrying about us being in a recession, which you could argue already are in one, but it increased confirmation bias. I would want to expect the reports for either to stay at the low levels or to slowly start rallying again. But the Fed have already accepted that the reports are terrible, and then you start cutting rates now. The gold standard will return to how it was before. I feel it. The end of the fiat system is not far away. 100%. It is very, very close now. Very, very close indeed. Tara and Kaspa, the same age. How that get an ETF first? It's a good question. It's a good question. I haven't really got an answer to that. I imagine it's because it's AI based. Of course, Kaspa's innovative in its own capacity, but AI it's got a lot more eyes on as opposed to proof of work. AI's got a lot more wandering eyes on that market. Welcome back, Crypto Tony Bro. You're doing very, very well. And yes, you can see you've got the pretty blue. You are now Mr. Miles' equal. So find that out between yourselves. Community engagement like Cardano in 2021, 100%. 100%. You have my utmost respect. It's like difficult time to continue to do your Kaspa live streams. You know it, Massimo. I'm going to still be here. You know, I've been here since the peak of Kaspa. been downhill since. But my conviction's not wavered. It's not wavered at all. And I can keep, like a parrot, giving the reason to why my conviction stays so strong. Yes, the price is down, yes, it's terrible, but you look what's being built. The building hasn't stopped. As CZ Binance said, hype wins short term, building wins long term. Kaspa is still building. It's still building. You're seeing more and more stuff coming out frequently. VProgs, yellow paper's coming out again, the next one's coming out again. Diagonal implementation is starting now. That is huge. Haven't got tier 1 listings, that sort of stuff. Still some other big tier 1s not coming out just yet, but they'll come out hopefully soon enough. Kaspa got their smart contracts out. You'll see Igor start and release their private one in Q4 and their public one in Q1. KRR launching their enterprise projects as well. They're testing with Swift as well. There's still so many catalysts to come out that, in my belief, 99% of crypto projects are going to fail. But in this current run-up, pretty much everything's going to succeed. In this current run-up, what's coming out, most crypto projects are going to do well. Of course, some will do better than others. Some will do better than others, but most will do well. Then eventually you'll see a culling where lows will fall off to zero. Kaspa's the one that I'm banking on being the strongest to survive it all and do well. Bybit EU doesn't have Kaspa. Oh really? I know Bybit does trade Kaspa. We can see that here. Maybe there's. I know there are certain regions that don't do. I know, for example, like Binance listed some assets, but then Binance US doesn't have some assets. So maybe it's just region based. That might change it enough right now. But yeah, again, the exposure to Kaspa is still not enough, but it'll grow more as time goes on. When do you think the swap button will come back for Kaspa on Tangent? In the next, day or two, maybe even the next few hours. Right now, the swap button's gone because the API can't keep up with Kaspa's TPS. So it's gone down, but it's temporary. It'll come back. I'm not sure if it'll be a case of it come back immediately after the stress test is done. The stress test should be done at the end of the day. I don't know if it'll come back immediately afterwards, or they have to update their system so they can make sure they are able to handle this next time round. But we'll see it come back. It shouldn't. I'd imagine it only take a few days. Although I'm sure Tangent support will have a better idea than I would. So if you can, I say try and reach out to them on either on their website or through Twitter and see if they can get back to you. You can try Mr. Miles, but you're equals now, so I don't think you have the power to do that anymore. And yes, definitely, Massimino and you all, you're right, and your love and appreciation is very much. I'm very grateful for it all. So yes, if you enjoy the streams, definitely leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. Awareness will be Kaspa's most important catalyst. When the average bear knows that the faster, better Bitcoin is out there at 7 cents, they'll sell their mother to buy it. Honestly, yeah. And that'll be, again, the FOMO hype incentive again. But they're getting into it because they see, technology superior asset at dirt value. I might as well put a gamble on this. And then eventually they'll go down the rabbit hole like, oh yeah, you know what? This best decision ever made. It's where we believe right now with Kaspa. I think Zebek again, we do very, very well. Reward asset will do very, very well. Zebek's currently up 5.5%. We might see it make a break towards that 0.005, so 0.5% level of resistance again. See if it got more from there as well. But I think you'll see RWAs make a massive, massive rally in this fourth quarter, and you'll see other assets start to catch up. Welcome back, Ness. You're doing very, very well, honestly. Thanks for all the streams again. It's hard to stay bullish for such a long time. Can you show me the Kaspa Godzilla chart? It maybe lasts for a full you. Yeah, of course I can. So we look at Kaspa right now. The dinosaur chart, the absolute definitive confirmation that Kaspa is going to explode. You got the little tail here, the spikes, and then you got like the little head, and then the long nose. Then you got the little legs. And it comes all the way down here as well. The Godzilla chart, little eyes there as well, and smile. You've got little toenails there as well. It's the Godzilla chart, Kaspa again. Absolute confirmation it's going to break out right there. And that satire, for those who didn't understand sarcasm. Welcome back, Mike. Bro, you're doing very, very well. Good to have you back here in the stream again, my man. Magnus, welcome back. Has there ever been any chain that has gotten stable coins without having a central dev team? If so, is that maybe an issue for the Tether and Circle? Has there been any chain that's going to got stable? I can't answer that question off the top of my head. Considering that 99% of crypto projects in the space are centralized, I'd argue probably there is not a case of that. But you've got to understand that in the nature of getting stablecoins on Kaspa, we haven't got VPOGs on yet. So stablecoins coming on Kaspa won't happen soon. Stablecoins coming on Casplex could happen soon because they're talking to Circle and Tether, and those, and Casplex, KEF, they are a centralized body effectively. So you can see stablecoins on that, and then if things go well, then Circle and Tether could be incentivized to then build natively on Kaspa with VPOGs and natives coming out. So, and again, it just comes down to the performance of Kaspa, which again, we're seeing the performance happening in real time. That is crazy, honestly. Hopefully we see tomorrow, this will be a new world record made. I'm looking forward to it. One thing that has me scratching my head, I've seen a significant uptick in interest for Kaspa over the past several months, but the price doesn't reflect it. So who is selling? Probably market makers keeping the price down. That's what I'd assume. So it is quite a weird coincidence how Kaspa adoption regarding Bitcoin maximalists with Nick Szabo, with Dr. Jeremy, with many others who are starting to look more towards Kaspa. It's making a lot more waves, but price is not reflecting that. It's probably just, again, a lack of adoption and institutional interest, market makers. But I'm sure that'll change. Welcome back, Riley. You're doing very, very well. Any Caspian layer out there? Check out CryptoPump's video about shills being paid by chains to say they're the fastest. Legal action could be taken. I mean, yeah, you'll see when regulations are properly implemented, you'll see many lawsuits also coming through by those who are feigning legitimacy. Kaspa will, of course, be fine in that regard because it's proven as such. Been watching Kaspa for a long time. The YouTubers are a joke. It's already time to get out of 2024 December. Those who have already been holding for a whole year, wake up, it's bearish. Yeah, maybe it's bearish right now, Wednesday, but things don't have to say bearish forever. Would you say the same thing about Bitcoin during this cycle, during this segment here? Or about Ethereum during this segment here? Or even back here when it first launched? Kaspa's in its first cycle. Everything, it has all to play for. Ethereum did this in its first cycle and then jumped up here. It went parabolic in the span of a year. So, yeah, Kaspa's been doing bad for a long time. Things don't stay that way forever. Again, I encourage you to listen to this. This video is available on my Discord server for free. You go into my free Discord server, type in Cathie Wood, CATHIE space WOOD, Cathie Wood, and you see, this is one of the first videos you see, where she explains, talking about Tesla, but it's attributed to any asset. When an asset is consolidating at a low point, either breaks down or it goes up. Of course, it's going to go one or two ways. But if the bears don't win, which the bears are right now trying to win Kaspa, they're trying to FUD Kaspa saying it's going to do badly, the bears can't win, the other way is up. And the longer the base, the bigger the breakout. Right now, the bears are trying to take over Kaspa. They're trying to say the project's dead. Kaspa is still holding at the low levels, but it's holding. It's not losing. If it was the losing levels, then yeah, sure, bears win. But right now, you've got a lot of inactive holders who are still holding Kaspa. 3 years, not touched. 2 years, still near all-time highs, barely touched. 1 year. 6 months. 3 months. People are stacking Kaspa more and more. You're seeing incentive for Kaspa grow more and more. You're seeing Nick Szabo saying that BlockDAG has a lot of promise. Nick Szabo is the creator of smart contracts. He has his stars, he has his accolades. People respect him in every community. And he's saying that Kaspa's BlockDAG is impressive and has potential. And he's not the only person who's come out publicly speaking about Kaspa being a promising infrastructure, promising asset. The key word is promising. But that means there's enough incentive for people to actually looking towards Kaspa, and you'll see that continue to change. If Kaspa does not go down, it's going to go up, and because it has such a long base, it will be the most explosive asset of this lifetime, probably. I don't care about price. We know that we invested in the 1% of the crypto with the real utility. Exactly. Completely right. Yeah, they're keeping the price down right now. if Bitcoin could support stables at scale, nobody would be issuing. Yeah, I mean, if Bitcoin was able to scale, these other assets would not be here, or they probably would be, but they would have followed in a similar sort of suit. But if Bitcoin was able to do what it wanted to do, you wouldn't see the stuff coming out. Kaspa is trying to stick true to the original vision of what Bitcoin was trying to do. Welcome back, Beast. You're doing very, very well, my man. Good to have you here, my man. When it's bullish, those who will be holding will become other exit liquidity. This is the fourth time knocking on the support. The fourth time knocking on support. I mean, yeah, you saw it happen. Well, I mean, this is one support here. You saw it touch there off the back of what happened that day? It was September 6th. Isn't that a bad day for everyone? You saw massively. I don't know. What happened September 6th again? I can't remember. But everything crashed that day. And Kaspa came down as far as that level. Did that back here. Liberation Day here as well. I mean, you see, if it keeps holding that support, then evidently that's the bottom for Kaspa, no? The same counter argument can be made. If Kaspa is knocking the support again and again and again, but it does not fall through, evidently this is the bottom for Kaspa. The longer the base, bigger the breakout. The bears are trying to win, and they're not getting through. So therefore, it can only go one way. When Sailor, hopefully soon, you know. Who's pumping Zcash? Zek? It's been dead for years. I have no idea. Do you believe Mexi is still open for Kaspa? I think it is having an effect. I can't properly say that Mexi is the problem, but they could probably still be a problem, yes. But there are so many issues with Kaspa in regards to price. But again, that just might be smart money, market makers accumulating and applying pressure to, you know, accumulate more for themselves. Those who research Kaspa properly, they are not too much fussed about the price. You know, but that's just, again, comes down to doing your own research, trade at your own discretion. Hopefully you see Bitcoin make this rally from here on out. Right now we're looking quite strong right now. If we can end today around this level, it'll be fantastic news. And we'll hopefully see crypto catch up in suit as well. But that being said, the family, that will conclude today's Kaspa Crypto live stream. The longer the base, the higher the space. Exactly. If you enjoy the stream, as always, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. If you want to know more about crypto and Kaspa, check out the free Discord server. Links down below in the description, also on my homepage here as well. Equally, you can check out the VIP 7-day free trial to lock in more crypto, level up your trading game and whatnot. And check out BYDFI, no KYC VPN, regulated exchange. All benefits are available and information available in my Discord server as well. But that being said, the family, have a great day, good evening, good night. Leave a like, and I'll see you all.